Yep.
Over here.
Thanks for all for coming today. Today's our of course, every once a month we do our mentorship call for everybody together for a special sponsor. This is that call. If you want to learn more, please reach out to me. We can tell you more about it. We want to introduce Scott Southwell with Scott Southwell Photography. He's our professional photographer that we all know, and we're going to let him take over and get into learning everything we can about how the photography and real estate works and answer any questions that we have about photography. Go ahead, Scott.
Hi, everybody. My name's Scott Southwell. Can you hear me okay? Volume sounds all right?
Yeah, hi there.
You sound
Okay,
great.
hi.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Okay, good. Well, I'm going to show you about photography as it relates to real estate photography. And the reason I like real estate photography is I like taking pictures of things that don't cry and run off. And I'm talking about weddings, okay?
Mhm.
So I like taking pictures of houses and buildings and things like that. Also, it's a natural fit for me because Andrew and I met, what, 4 or 5 years ago when we were both with eXp Realty. And I'm still a licensed realtor, but I'm just not brokered by anybody. I like real estate. And I just like photography better because there's more things I can do with it. I'm a drone pilot. I do virtual tours, virtual staging, headshots, portraits, and all sorts of things. So today we're going to talk about real estate photography, and I'm going to talk to you about it from a realtor's perspective. Okay, so I'm going to run through a little bit about what I do, and I've got some sections, and I'll ask for some questions after each section. So the things I do are MLS listing photos. I do walkthrough videos, Matterport virtual tours. I have my drone pilots or drone operator license, which allows me to do aerial photography. I do virtual staging, floor plans, headshots, and portraits. So we'll run through a little bit about what I do. So why hire me? Because I'm an affiliate member of Sabor, which means I can access your lockbox, your super lockboxes. There's my Trek license number. I'm a licensed realtor just like you.
I just
I
have to
have
say,
my,
I don't want to interrupt, Scott. Sorry, I just have to say it's
that's
so
okay.
important to have somebody who's with Sabor. It is so nothing more frustrating than ordering pictures and having to meet the photographer at the house because they
Yeah,
can't get into the house.
can't get
They're,
in.
oh
So yeah,
man.
you can send me over a lot. I've got several realtors who use me all the time, and I might have met them in person when I did a presentation in person with Andrew or at another title company. But they never meet me at the property. They just say, go do it. And they know that I'm not going to walk off with the key in my pocket. So it really does help. And I'm background checked and fingerprinted just like you. So I do the Matterport virtual tours and I carry general liability insurance. So it covers you if I do something wrong and damage your property. Okay. So here's examples of typical photography, and everybody can see this, correct? The pictures.
Yes, beautiful.
Okay. So these are typical pictures that I've taken. The top left is a drone picture, and then here's interior shots and digital twilights and some more interior shots. Here's a law office downtown. That's the picture on the in the white room, and here's some other pictures I've done. So this gives you an idea of kind of the quality that I do. And here's one I did last week. This was in Anaqua Springs, and this is for a custom home builder. And this is a very high-end type of uh, photography shoot that I did. And I'll explain a little bit about how I did it, and you'll be surprised what it takes to get a picture that looks this good. So I also do walkthrough videos. So here's a 2-minute walkthrough video, and you can watch along with me, and we'll see it.
Now, this one's a longer one, Scott. Do you do shorter ones for like reels and snippets and stuff as well?
Alrighty. So what was that, Andrew?
I said that one's a little bit longer. Do you do any
Yeah,
shorter ones for like
yeah,
reels
that
and
was a
stuff
long
like
one. That's
that?
a long version. That's 2 minutes.
Okay.
I also do 30 seconds. So some agents want the full 2 minutes, some want the 30 seconds. So I do both. Yeah. And
Perfect.
when I do those presentations for you, Andrew, I just show the first few seconds of that one, but that's the one I always show. It's just I never take the time to show the whole thing. Okay, drones. Do you need a Part 107 remote pilot license to fly drones? And Andrew's heard this. If you just want to fly it around your neighborhood and spy on your neighbors, no, you don't. If you want to do it commercially and get paid like me, then yes, you do. Something to know about drones, and as you go through your real estate career, you're going to hear about this over the next, I don't know, maybe year or so. The best company that makes these drones is a Chinese company called DJI. And DJI doesn't really want to spy on us, but the Chinese government is telling DJI, you let us see what those Americans are taking pictures and videos of, and when they store it on your cloud that you're charging monthly for, we want to see that. And so they can't say no. And we know that they're doing that. There's a bill in Congress to ban all these Chinese made drones, and it's not gone through. So what's going on now is these new drones coming from China can't get through customs. And so
Yeah.
if you want to buy a drone, the only thing you're going to be able to buy is an overpriced drone from Amazon that's in stock, but soon they're going to be gone. So I've got backup spare parts, multiple drones. Sometimes if you book a photographer, they might tell you, oh, yeah, I know we say we do drones, but my last one broke and I can't get spare parts. They're not lying. They're telling the truth. It's because you can't get spare parts. So until another country makes them, or we drop what we're doing, playing, I guess, what do you call it, tit for tat, China won't let us export Chevys into their country. Well, we're saying, okay, we're going to do the same thing to you, China. And so, until things change, you're going to have trouble getting drones. So I'm just letting you know, if you contact a photographer and they say they can't do it, that's why. Now, drone photography is great because it gives you a different perspective. Has anybody heard of the company called Hasselblad? Hasselblad cameras?
No, I wish
No,
it.
it's think a Austrian company, very expensive cameras. DJI bought them. So their cameras are some of the best in the world. They bought that technology, and that's what's in their cameras. They're fantastic little miniature cameras, but they're on a gimbal. So even though the drone is bouncing around up in the air, the gimbal keeps it steady. So they take fantastic pictures. Now, who can tell me what are the three most important things in real estate? Anybody? No? Okay, Andrew, what is it? No, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, definitely can hear you.
Okay.
You
It's
got me on that
locate.
one.
Okay, the three most important things in real estate are location, location, location. Okay? So
Good.
last
Yes.
week I was doing a photo shoot for a seasoned, experienced realtor, and she knows this. Location's the most important thing. The house was just so-so. It needs a lot of work. She knows that. But it's where it's located that she wanted to emphasize. So in addition to doing the listing photos for the MLS, she had me do a video, a 30-second video similar to what you saw. But then she also had me do about a half dozen pictures with my drone because she wanted to show, look how close it is to Alamo Heights High School. That's a very prestigious and desirable high school. And if you owned a property in that school district, your kids would go to Alamo Heights High School. And it's within walking distance. Well, it's one thing to say It's within walking distance. It's another to actually show it. Okay. So she understands that principle of location is the most important thing. The dirt under the house is worth more than the house, and she understands that. Okay. Now, I did this in Canva. I did it for her, and I'll do it for you. If it's something simple on a drone picture that I take, it was not difficult to put in the words North New Braunfels and then East Castano and Alamo Heights and put the little marker, the map marker, and the red arrow. That's easy, and I don't mind doing that for you for free. If you want something more complicated, graphics that sing and dance and dissolve and do all kinds of dancing around, that I don't do. But if you want to take the picture and take it into Canva and you're a master whiz with it, knock yourself out. But if you want something simple, yeah, I'll do it for you, no charge. That's easy to do. Okay. Here's another one. This was in Fredericksburg, Texas. If you've been up there, my wife and I love to go up there and stay in these Airbnb or these bed and breakfast, and they've got wineries everywhere. And so this realtor had this log cabin she wanted me to photograph. So I photographed the inside, the outside, and whatnot. But then she also wanted to show that Fredericksburg is only 9 miles away. So again, for free, no extra charge. I went in Canva, it's real simple, and just put Fredericksburg, Texas, approximately 9 miles, and that red arrow, and it was really easy to do. Here are some other drone pictures. The one on the left is a digital twilight, so it makes it look like it's at night. The one on the right is what the drone actually took, and it was, I don't know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. Something else you can do with drones that is really good is called color pop, where the picture on the left, you can see the outline of the subject property is in color and everything else is in black and white.
Those are
It's
some of my
really good.
favorite where it really stands out. I love
It really
those.
stands out, and it works really good for raw land. When somebody's got I don't know, a 1 acre lot, and they decide, you know what, I want to sell it, and they have me take a picture of it, I can do this to the picture for an extra $50, and it shows where the property is compared to everybody else's. But it also works good in neighborhood, and that's what the realtor wanted me to do. The one on the right over there, the original one, is a little hard to tell which one is the subject property. And here's a quick little video. This one's short. So again, the drone is great to show what's around it. These DJI drones, like I was talking about, it's a Chinese company, but they don't make the junk you get at Walmart. This thing's fantastic. It has a little screen on the controller. With my finger, I drew a box around the house, and it has about 6 different things it'll do, and I told it to orbit it, and I just clicked go, and it did most of that. So they're incredible, and it's a shame that soon we're not going to be able to get them. Okay, Matterport. For those of you who are not familiar with Matterport, it's a virtual tour. So if you've seen it, you're familiar with it. For those of you who haven't, I'm going to show you what it's like. So basically, here's a still photo, but it's an interactive type program where I go through and I have a special camera on this funny looking tripod, and I have my iPad, and I move the camera, and then I go hide around the corner, and I hit the button, and it takes what they call a scan. And when you use your mouse and you click on one of these little circles, it digitally transports you to that next circle. And I've got an example of a house I recently did. So when you hire a photographer like me to do a virtual tour, what they're going to send you is a link just like this. Okay. You upload that link to the MLS, you upload it to social media, you put it on your website, wherever you're going to put it, you need this link. And what happens is When you click on the link, it does this. And here's an actual Matterport tour that I made for a realtor. Okay, so it comes up with a dollhouse view, and this one's live. And what makes it really interesting is it's now interactive. So you click on the little circle and watch. Woo! Here we go. And with my mouse, I'm just moving around and I can look all around. Okay, I can go this way, I can go that way, I can go over here, and you don't have to click on the next circle. You can click way over here and it'll take you to the next one it finds. And so it blurs out the funny little tripod that I have, but you can move it around. You can say, let's look, wow, look how high that ceiling is. Oh, let's look over there. Oh, look, they got a little bridge going from one side of the house to another. Well, let's see what it looks like over here in the kitchen. So you can click on here and it allows you to look up close and personal at the kitchen. You can turn it around where a regular static picture, you only get to see what I take pictures of. Now, the picture quality is better on the MLS pictures I do for you, but they're not interactive. And so with these Matterport tours, you can move yourself around. And here we go. So we'll go in the bedroom and then we'll wrap up this. So you click on it.
I love to use this, Scott, when I'm doing like videos. When I have my home tour, I can pretend that I'm doing like a tour of the house and I talk about the house and I walk through. It makes really good videos that way. And I do a lot of my videos that way. I always try to get a Matterport just for that reason, because it makes really good videos like that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And it's just another tool in your toolbox to offer, because this is not 2021 when buyers were fighting with each other to see who could overpay the most for a property. You've got to get creative. You've got to do your work. To be a listing agent now, you've got to network. You've got to know buyers. You've got to find people. You got to get out there and mingle and know a lot of realtors to let them know what's special about your property versus the other 6 that are in the neighborhood. So that's just the nature of real estate. All right, so let's go back to, let's see, let me go find it. Hold on a second here. So does anybody have any questions about drones or the Matterport?
So is there a limit? I know I've heard before in drones, if it's a size, you need a license, or is it only if you're using it for commercial?
It's only if you're using it for commercial. What you're talking about, Andrew, is the weight, and I think it's 250 grams. Some of
Okay.
these drones are tiny. They fit in your hand when it's folded up. If it's under 250 grams, I don't think you have to register it with the FAA. If you want it to fly more than 12 minutes, you need to get a bigger one. It weighs more than 250 grams because it has a bigger battery. And then you have to register it with the FAA. They send you a tail number, just like an airplane. And you have to get a Sharpie or a label maker, and you put it on there. It also sends out a signal. So law enforcement, if they see this thing flying over DKR Stadium at a Texas game when there's 80,000 people in there and they see this thing flying around, they can real quickly tell who it belongs to because it sends out a signal. And
That's
they can
wild,
even,
yeah.
I think they can even trace the signal back to the operator because he's got this, the remote has a signal. They can trace it back. And the reason they had to do this was because these things were hitting aircraft. And it wasn't bringing them down, but if it damages it, it takes it out of rotation, and then it messes up the schedule for American Airlines, and they're not happy about that. So that's why the FAA had to get involved. Okay, does anybody have any questions about the Matterport tours? No? Okay.
No,
All
we're
right.
good.
Yeah, go ahead.
And they said they're good, Scott, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All right, let me get out of here and I'll get back to, let me see, where is it? Here we go. Okay, so that covers Matterport. So that shows you what you're going to get. You're going to get a link and you have to click on it. It takes you to it. Okay. The other things I do are headshots and group shots, and I do the occasional senior portrait that, in the spring when they want that kind of stuff done. But I do a lot of headshots for realtors because they need an updated headshot to put on their social media posts and their business cards and what have you. Okay, so why hire a professional photographer? I mean, you've got a very good camera in your phone, and it's amazing the kind of job it does, and it takes video. So, do you need a professional? So let's have a look. Okay, Andrew's seen this before. This is a house I took pictures of, and I was all set up, getting ready to take the picture, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna take my phone out of my pocket, and I took a picture with it, and it's not bad. It's okay. But look at the walls; they're doing this, and look at the windows; they're blown out. And in this picture, in this room, are two ceiling fans and one fireplace. Okay, if you look real close, you can see the fireplace over by the cushions. Here it is, and from the same spot with my camera and the way I do it. Okay, look at the difference. All right, here's the bedroom in this house. There's the bedroom. I don't know if you can see my mouse moving, but look at this on the floor. That's because these blinds have a little gap in them. If you don't know this, you're just going to take a picture and that's going to show, and it looks distracting. There's also a fireplace over here. Here's the way I do it. Okay, iPhone, the way I do it. I went over and I pulled the blinds down, and now you don't see that. But even if it did show up, I can Photoshop it out of there. But look at the colors. Look at the difference. Okay, here's a downstairs bedroom. See the headboard over here? Look at the color of it. Okay, here's something else you guys need to know, and this might hit a little hard, but I'm just going to tell you from a realtor's experience, and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but here's the deal. A seasoned, experienced realtor is never going to post pictures from their phone that look like this on the MLS. They're going to have that. They're going to hire a pro, okay? There's a lot of unscrupulous realtors out there. There's a lot of these old guys that I don't care what the rules are. I don't care what Trek puts in place. They do unscrupulous things. They see this and it screams amateur and newbie. And that is their first indication they're dealing with somebody who's inexperienced. And it has been my experience, even when I post pictures that look like this, some of these guys try and pull fast ones on me. And they'll do things like, when they think you're a newbie and you're desperate for money and you'll do anything to make it close, they'll say things like, okay, I'm bringing a buyer, here's our offer, but we want you, the seller, to reimburse us for the inspection fee at closing. And we want you, the seller, to give us not a 1-year home warranty, we want a 3-year platinum plan warranty. And, oh yeah, the HOA fee, we want you to pay for that, okay? An HOA fee, sometimes in some neighborhoods, the HOA fee can be 0.25%. Multiply 0.25 times $400,000. That's getting up to be $1,000. Somebody's got to pay. And sometimes the HOA will charge the seller, sometimes they charge the buyer. Well, a guy who knows what he's doing will make sure that not his customers, his clients pay, that your clients pay. So now your clients are mad at you and his clients are happy with him. So it all started because he saw that on the MLS. So just take it with a grain of salt. This screams amateur realtor. That shows what it should look like, okay? All right, so how do I do it? How do I get pictures that look like that when you, out of your phone, are going to get pictures that look like that? It's called high dynamic range, okay? Before I go any further, does anybody have any questions over what I've gone over so far?
I just want to say for sure, I've tried to get all those things from people whenever I think they're not an experienced realtor and they're not doing a good job. So pay
Yeah,
attention.
yeah, pay attention, yeah. So don't give them a reason to think that you're inexperienced. You know, I had a guy, he did something, what the heck was it? He wanted me, he was mad that I wasn't giving him 3%, I was only giving 2.5. I was getting 2.5, and he was getting 2.5. Yeah, that's not right. You should charge 3%. I said, well, we're not really supposed to be discussing this. He goes, look, I want 3%. If you're only charging the seller 5, you take 2 and you give me 3. And I told my broker about it. I said, do you want to report it? And he goes, nah, man, no, quit bugging me with that. But they'll do things like that. So just be careful. Okay, so high dynamic range. I don't know if you can see me, but the human eye has a dynamic range about this wide, and a camera, the very best cameras, have a dynamic range about this wide, and it's right in the middle. And dynamic range refers to being able to see things in shadows, dark areas, and being able to see things in real bright areas. The camera just can't do it, but our eyes can, okay? So have you ever wondered why does a photographer need a flash for a camera inside? The flash is nothing more than a flashlight for the camera, okay? That's all it is, and it's only on for a split second. But inside, we think, oh, I can see fine. But the camera struggles, and it can't see things. It thinks it's really dark. So you're giving it a flashlight, okay? But outside, you have to put on special filters that are sunglasses, okay? Our eyes don't need it. So what I do is I take 3 pictures. It's called HDR. So if you ever have a photographer say, yeah, I'm gonna do some HDR photos for you, what he's talking about is high dynamic range. And what he's gonna do is he puts his camera on a tripod and he pushes the button and it takes 3 pictures. One underexposed, one normal exposed, one super overexposed. And in Photoshop, they're put together, and that's how you get the picture up above. So here's a real world example, back to that house where I did the virtual tour. These are the actual raw photos. It's a file format called RAW, R-A-W. And I take 3 pictures, normal exposed, overexposed, or underexposed, and overexposed. The underexposed, look at the windows. See how you can see out the windows? That's what I need the underexposed one for. The one on the right that's all blown out, that acts like a flash. And in Photoshop, you put them together and do some tweaking and you get that. So from that, you get that. Okay? Now, there's also another type of photography called flambient. And most of what you need as realtors, you're going to get what's called HDR. But if you ever have a photographer talk you into something more expensive and you think, why is he charging more? It's called flambient. And this is a snapshot from my website, and I have 3 different levels of pictures. I have good, which are your listing photos. I have better, which are for Airbnb, and I have best. So what's the difference? Okay. Here is an HDR photo, and it's good. It's a lot better than you can get with your cell phone camera, and it was fine for listing photos. But if you have a house that has 2 commas in the price, or you're working for a builder, or if I'm working for a builder, custom home builder, custom remodeler, they want something a step above this. And so that's what flambient is. Okay, so that's why my prices, the better and the best, are more. So back to this house I did in Anaqua Springs. This is a low resolution file to put up on PowerPoint so it'll work. Because if I put up something too big, it's going to reduce it anyway. But this photo was really sharp and nice. But to get this photo to look like this, that's how many pictures I took. Okay? The first one up here is the ambient picture, no flash. The rest of them are flashes. That's where you get the word flambient. Flash and ambient is flambient. But I was moving all around, and I've got a remote for my camera, and see, here's one over here in this little room where the bar is. Here's some in the bathroom. Here's another one in the bathroom. You can kind of see it. I didn't use all of these. In Photoshop, I picked out the ones I wanted, but I have to take them all and pick the ones I want and figure out which ones I need. But to get a picture that looks like that, you got to pay that or that, okay? Most of you don't need it, but if you ever get a a very expensive listing, 800,000, 900,000, $1 million plus, you want that because the buyers expect to see pictures of this house that look that good. Okay. Also, look at the TV. See the TV, it doesn't have it's off, and there's nothing in the fireplace. So in Photoshop, I made the TV come alive and I made the fireplace on. It looks like it's on. That's part of the deal. Okay. I also have custom special lenses that keep buildings from looking like they're leaning over. And before we get to virtual staging, does anybody have any questions?
That's great, Scott. I love the different types. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is everybody still with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
Virtual staging. For those of you who don't know, you got two types of staging. You've got real staging, and then you got virtual staging. If your house is $300,000, you don't have the budget in your commission to pay for a real stager. A real stager brings over a truck full of furniture and a bunch of guys, and they are like movers. They are movers, and they move it all in. And she is usually a woman. She comes in and she stages the house, and usually it's the master primary bedroom, and the living room is usually what you stage. And when you walk in, it looks really good, but it could be $1,000 or more per month. Now, if your house that you got a listing for is 800,000, $1 million plus, you've got money in your commission that's coming to pay for a real stager. So you have to decide what you want to do. If you don't have the budget for it, but you don't like the empty room, you can do virtual staging. And it's just done in Photoshop, okay? Now, on my website, I've got 3 levels of virtual staging, okay? Level 1 is I pick the furniture. Level 2 is I send you a gallery and you say, I want to do a dining room, I want to do a living room, I want to do a bedroom. I send you that gallery and you pick the available choices. You say, I want this one, and that's the one I use. The third level is going full-blown Photoshop. Look at the wall. Okay, this realtor that hired me, she was the same one that had me do the Alamo Heights one. She knew that buyers are not going to like this green wall, and she wanted it changed, and she wanted to pick out her own furniture. So that's level 3. It's an additional $159 a photo on top of what the regular photos are. Now, you can take this picture. This is the HDR picture of the actual room. Okay, you can take this picture and upload it to ChatGPT, and if you're real good at it, you can virtually stage it. You might be able to get it to change the walls, but it could frustrate you. It might not do exactly what you want. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. If you don't have the time, if you don't want to pay for ChatGPT, the pro version, if it doesn't work like you want, I'm here to help you, okay? So here's an enlarged picture. That's level 1. I picked the furniture. Here's level 2, a little close up of the gallery you can pick from. And there's a lot more. It's just, that's all I could fit on here. And then here's level 3. That same green wall is gone. The border of the wallpaper is gone, and she wanted white furniture, okay? So if ChatGPT doesn't do it for you, I can do it for you. As I said, the common areas you want to virtually stage are a bedroom. So here's the picture, the furniture I picked. The one on the right is the HDR photo that I did, and that's what it really looks like. It's empty. And here's the living room, same house. Fireplace is on, furniture is in there. I picked it. It looks good enough. So in addition to what I did, $59 for that one, $59 for that one. It's a lot cheaper than a real stager. So you have to decide what you think you want to do. This is probably a $650,000 house. So $59 times 2 was well worth it for her. Digital twilight, that's where I can make the sky and the house look like it's afternoon or evening and the sun's going down. This is something I do recommend doing. This is good use of Photoshop. I tell people use this for your first photo on the MLS and make it your primary photo, because uh, Zillow, Realtor.com, and whatnot, they get all their information from the MLS. And if this is your first photo, that's what comes up is the primary photo, and people are scrolling on their phones. The picture's tiny. You need something to catch their eye. Okay, you need something pretty, some pretty colors, something different to catch their eye and make them say, "Ooh, ooh, go back, look at that one." That's all you need. Okay, it's not deceiving because that's your second picture. Okay, now look at the grass. When I took these pictures, I think it was November. The grass is dormant. The realtor asked, should we put in fake grass? I said, no, don't do that. Because when buyers show up and it doesn't look like that, they're going to say, hey, wait, what's going on here? Also, here's something I do, most photographers do, but I do it. It was gray and overcast that day because it was November. But I put in blue skies, and that's no extra charge, and I always do it. Why? Because in the morning it might be gray, overcast skies. In the afternoon, it's blue skies with white clouds. So that's not deceiving. This is not deceiving. And if your broker says, okay, you have to put it's virtually staged, fine. You put it's virtually staged. But your second picture is the same picture. It's just, it doesn't look digital twilight. And it's not deceiving. Now, here's what is deceiving and what I recommend you don't do. Don't be this guy, okay? The picture's on the top. The one on the left, on the top left, they put in fake grass. They use Photoshop to trim the bushes and get rid of junk. The one on the bottom's worse. Look at all that junk they got rid of. If you do that, and some photographers don't even charge extra for it, I'm telling you, don't do it, because as a realtor, you show up to the house, the buyers are all excited because they found a house that looks beautiful. It's in their price range. All right, look at it. They show up and it doesn't look like the pictures. They're real disappointed. And they say, are we at the right house? And then when they figure out they are, they say, oh, well, they use Photoshop to doctor the pictures. What else are they hiding from us? They haven't even walked in and they already don't like it. Okay, so my advice is spend the time and the effort to clean up the place, even if you have to do it yourself. Go buy a few bags of mulch and put them out. Pull up the weeds. If the seller won't do it, do a little bit of the work yourself. It's better than having the buyers, when you finally get one, not be happy with it when you walk in. Okay, before I go on, does anybody have any questions about virtual staging or the use of Photoshop or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay, everybody
Good to
good?
go.
Okay. All right. So here's a funny one. Andrew, you know the answer, so don't spoil it. But
I
this
won't.
is the world's first digital camera. Okay, it doesn't look like much, but that's the granddad to the camera that's in our cell phones. If if somebody can give me the correct answer without Googling it, I got a little prize for you. We'll meet sometime and I'll give you the little prize. It's a business card holder, okay? It's nothing to get excited about, but let me hear you say, who invented this thing? Anybody? No? Everybody still with me? Everybody still awake?
Still here.
Okay. A company named Kodak. And for those of you who are wondering, what's a Kodak? There was a time Kodak was so big, they were one of the 30 companies that make up the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Did you know that when they say the Dow was up 400 points today? They're talking about 30 companies. That's it. Well, Kodak was one of those companies. They were huge. They had a research and development lab, and the engineers and scientists have one job: invent something new we can sell. One of their electrical engineers invented it. Kodak buried it. He left Kodak, went to work for Sony. Sony saw the value in it, and the rest is history. Okay? So that's all I've got for my PowerPoint presentation. I'll show you a little bit about my website, how you can order online, what some of the prices are. Does anybody have any questions so far?
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the
Oh, it's good
information that
stuff.
you provided.
Okay. Well, if you want, real quick, I'll show you. Let's see. I'll show you my website. Um, You can go on my website. Here it is. Andrew's got my info. It's
Yep.
scott-photos.com. Pretty
In the
simple.
chat, I shared Scott's business card, so everyone can grab that too.
Good, good. Okay. So you can go on my website. You can see what I do. You can see some of my reviews. I have got more than this. I just put a few on there. Some of my customers. There's me. But you can scroll through. You can see this is just a little smattering, a little preview of some of the things I do. You can go up to the top, and here's real estate photos right here. You click on it. These are the photos, the MLS listing photos you would want. Okay. You can click on them. You can see them. Gives you just a quick little overview of the listing photos I do. And when you're ready to book, you can click on any of these book now buttons, and it will take you to my order page. If you say I want a package, I've got a package page. If you say I want a la carte and just pick what I want, I've got that too. I don't try and shoehorn you into making you buy a package of things you don't want. So you can have either one. If you want packages, we go here, you click on it, it's coming up. So most of you are going to want the residential real estate photos. Okay, so first step, you figure out what the square footage of your house is. Let's say it's 2750 square feet. Your price for the MLS listing photos is $249. I give 24-hour turnaround. I fix the blue skies, and I'll show you what it looks like when you get them. I've got, if you want drone package, I've got it, video package, I've got it, virtual package, and Matterport virtual tours. You put in some information about you, put in some information about the property. If it's gated, I need to know what the gate code is. I'd like to know if there's going to be anybody in it if I get there. If you don't want to be there, I can access Supra lockboxes or a combination. But if it is a Supra and you have a CBS code, for those of you who don't know, it's an extra layer of protection on these Supra electronic lockboxes. I need the CBS code to get in. If there's an alarm, I need to know that. And then you can click on pick your day and appointment. Okay, and it goes to my schedule and you can see what I have available. Okay. Now, what you're going to get from me the next day, I take the pictures 24 hours later, you're going to get two emails. One is it'll say your MLS listing photos are ready. The other one is my invoice, comes from QuickBooks. On the photos, it'll say click on the button at the bottom. When you do, this comes up, okay? It'll look like this. This is called a gallery, and you're going to see it. You can either click on View Gallery, or you can just scroll down. You're going to get two sizes of photos, MLS size, which are sized low resolution for the MLS. You download them, and they're ready. They go on your desktop. They're ready to go to the MLS. You upload them, and there's no conflict of it. It gives you a weird message. Well, it's telling you the size is wrong. I also give you the same pictures in a high resolution set should you want to have something printed. You get to see all these before you pay. Okay, a lot of photographers make you pay in advance. I let you see my work, your pictures, before you pay. So yeah, these are thumbnails. When you click on it, you get to see the actual picture, all of them. And this is virtually staged, by the way. Okay, that's the real picture. That's virtually staged. Okay, so you can go through all of them. You get to see all of them, full size, full resolution. You get to see all of them. Okay, you say, yeah, I like them. I'm ready to. I want them. So you go click on download. Uh-oh, what do we got here? It wants your email because it tells me who downloaded them. But this is the thing about keeping it fair. You got to see my work, but until I get paid, you don't get to use these. Okay, so that keeps it fair for both of us. So what happens is you go to my other email. It's my invoice from QuickBooks. You can pay with a credit card. That's how most people do it, and I don't charge credit card fees. Or you can pay with Cash Apps, or if you want, you can use an ACH from a bank. But as soon as you pay, I get an email and a notice from QuickBooks, hey, I've been paid. I'm going to text you the special PIN, PIN, personal identification number. It's a 4-digit number, and you put your email, and then you put your PIN right here, that PIN that I give you. Then you click next, and it allows you to download them. That way it keeps it fair for both of us. You got to see my work. You don't get to use it until I'm paid. So that way you don't have to deal with, oh man, I don't like these pictures, but I paid in advance and they really came out bad. I want my money back. And you get the runaround. Nobody answers the phone. They don't want to give you the money back. They want to go back and reshoot it. They want to know exactly what's wrong. That's frustrating. So if you don't like them, you don't have to pay, and I'm not going to hound you about it. If you do like them, you pay, and I give you the PIN. You download them. Okay. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to keep you any longer. Time for questions. What questions can I help you answer?
I don't have any questions. I really appreciate the slideshow and all of your wonderful work. And I
Good.
did
Thank you.
copy your business card, so I definitely will keep it for future
Okay.
reference.
Good. Well, I hope you get a lot of listings, and I hope I get to take the pictures of them.
She's
I'd
gonna
like to
kick
work
butt.
with
Yeah.
all of you.
It's definitely me too.
Okay. Just something to know. If you're new, Sabor has 2